What's up? How's it going, my Jotaro? It's Animal Mother here. Today we got a story. I already did this video once, but I thought it was too all over the place. I was kind of memeing a lot during the video. I'm gonna try to be a little bit more seriously this video, but no promises can be kept. If you guys want to, please don't like or subscribe. Just fucking dislike and fucking comment something mean. I don't know, something. Well, I'm gonna cut that part out because people can't take jokes anymore. But today, guys, I'm going to be talking about one of my experiences that I had a couple weeks ago, back in March. It was a fight that I had, a sanctioned fight, a Muay Thai fight. If you guys don't know, I compete in this sport of Muay Thai. It is it's a combat sport where there's punching, kicking, kneeing, and elbowing. Except I didn't participate with elbows because I'm an amateur, so it's kind of a lie, kind of a hashtag fake news. So I'm really sorry for anyone who believed that I threw elbows. I'm so sorry for lying to you. But yeah, I'm going to be talking about my fight. Actually, it was a tournament. Lost the second fight, won the first fight. Great experience, interesting experience, kind of an experience that I decided, why not make a story about it? So, yeah, so I guess I'll just start when I'll cut past all the bullshit, like with the weighing in and shit. I walk around at like 160, and I cut to about 147 pounds. Just don't cut weight. Cutting weight is stupid. It makes you feel like shit. It's bad for you. Just fight people who are your same weight class and cut from like 20 pounds higher than you. Just get the shit beat out of you and get brain damage. It's whatever. But yeah, so anyway, I cut to 147. And, I went to this pancake place, dude, afterwards that was so good. And apparently this guy claims to have seen me there. He told me later after the fight when we went to embrace each other, even though I didn't really embrace, I'm not going to lie. He told me that he saw me at the pancake place with his really hot girlfriend that was there. And I think I remember his hot girlfriend being there, but I don't remember him. But that's cool because his girlfriend is hot. And, yeah, so I'm at the venue the day of my fight, right? My friend had fought earlier that day, but I'm at the venue. To give you guys an explanation, there's like an area with the ring and the chairs and the DJ and the announcers and all that shit. And if you walk in and you look to the left, about midway through the room where the ring is, if you take a left, there's another room, and that's the locker room. That's where all the athletes are training and stuff, hitting pads, warming up, stuff like that, just hanging out. So I'm in there, and I start warming up. I start jumping rope. I'm feeling good. I'm trying to make light of all this situation because that's how I handle things bestly. I don't take it super seriously. I'm not like sitting there like, oh my God, I'm about to go to fucking Iran and bomb a kid or some shit. Like, I got to joke and laugh. Otherwise, I'm not going to perform to the best of my ability. I got to be lighthearted about it. So I'm just like joking. I'm like, this is so fucking stupid. Can't believe I'm doing this. I'm such an idiot. Can't believe I'm doing this shit. And I think my opponent was warming up, or he was getting his hands wrapped right in the room next to me, like right in front of me. And for reference, I fight in the adult bracket. I'm 18 years old. Even though I could technically still be in high school, it's whatever. I'm an adult now. So I fight in the adult bracket. So one of the two guys that fought before me, the guy who won was my opponent later on in the night that I lost to. It was a 19-year-old versus a 25-year-old, I think, and the 19-year-old won. He also beat me. But then later, my opponent was a 28-year-old, and I'm 18. So for reference, that was kind of like the ages of all of us. But apparently this dude, my opponent, he's warming up in the room right next to me, or like the curtain room, and he says that his hand, like I listened to his podcast, he says his hands were shaking, dude. That's how intense this was. His hands were shaking, dude. So I'm like, holy shit, this dude's crazy. So we go to line up by the door for them to call our names so we can walk out. And he claims on his podcast, because I listened to his podcast, that he was trying to stare my ass down the entire time. He was trying to make me hashtag intimidated and hashtag scared of him. But I didn't notice that he was trying to stare me down at this point. We're lined up outside of the ring, right? And I'm watching my opponents fight later on. Like my later opponents, I'm watching them fight. And I'm like, holy shit. Like it was kind of like weird to watch them fight and knowing that I'm going to fight next. And I don't know, it was weird, man. So they call our names, right? And they call his name. And the first thing he does, he raises his hands up. He runs across the aisleway that you walk down. He's like, and he's trying to hype himself up or whatever. I'm like, dude, this guy's a fucking maniac. But it was all respect in my head at this point. At this point, I only have respect for my opponent before the fight, right? I don't have any disrespect. It's just business. So I have respect for this guy. I'm like, gonna touch his glove or whatever. I'm thinking, yeah, we'll touch gloves. We'll be cool. So I go up there and I walk out, and I don't really make a big deal. I just kind of like walk normally. And, the guy checks my gloves, checks my cup, hits me in the dick. That's what they do to check your cup. They actually hit your dick. And that was probably, like, the best part of the entire journey. But I walk into the ring, and my coaches, they put down the rope so I could step over them. And I look around, and I just look at my opponent. I see him, and he's just staring at me, like dog staring at me. Like, I literally wish I had a video because it was such a good meme. But he's leaning forward. He's just, like, has his chin up in there. He's just looking at me like a fucking hyena, dude. So I'm like, holy shit, this guy means business. This guy means beeswax, right? So I stare at him. Lock eyes with him because it's like you can't as soon as the guy stares at you, you can't like look away. Like, I'm sorry, like if he does that to you, that is him using his eyes to tell you that he wants to fucking hurt you. So you know what? You can't just like be like, okay, and look down at the ground. No, you stare right back at him, right? So I'm looking right back at him. I'm Thomas Hearns staring him down, right? And the ref comes up and he looks at me. He's like, "Are you ready?" I nod my head. He looks at him. He's like, "Are you ready?" He nods his head. The fight starts. I put my glove out to touch his hand, right? First thing he does, right? He says some things that aren't very nice. He fakes touching the glove, and then he kicks me in the leg. Boom! Ow, that kind of hurt. So I'm like, all right. This is gonna be an interesting fight. So he's like saying some shit like, "Yeah, let's go, buddy." And I'm like, "All right, champ." And from him doing that, the entire crowd was on my side, or most of the crowd was on my side. I don't know, maybe his team was probably on his side, but it is what it is. So sucker kicked me in the leg, right? We start the fight. We get into this wild exchange. This dude was a brawler, man. So I hit him with like a 1, 2, 3, 4, right? I don't know if they landed flush, but then I land a kick that I thought was to the inside of his leg, but it wasn't. It was to his cup. And he goes down. He's like, "Oh!" He's like, "Ref, what the fuck?" He cusses out the ref. He's like, "Ref, what the fuck, ref?"
Let's go, Nick. Let's go, Nick. Hey, Nick, that's all good. That's all good, baby. That's all good.
And I'm like, "Oh shit, I just kicked this dude in the balls. This is not good." Because, you never feel good to kick this dude in the balls. Like, anyone in the balls, you just don't kick guys in the balls, right? It's not cool. Anyone who kicks people in the balls and thinks that shit's funny, it's not funny, okay? Stop kicking people in the balls. It makes them so they can't have children. It makes them so they get testicular torsion, which I wouldn't wish upon my worst enemy, right? So don't kick people in the balls. But it was an accident. What could I have done? This dude was a fucking hyena cheetah bouncing up and down, like redirecting the kicks and shit. Like, it was hard to fucking hit him at all because he was just wild as shit unless near the end. When he got tired, it was easy. But yeah, I kicked him in the dick. He goes, "What the fuck, ref?" Goes down. The ref puts me in the neutral corner, which is the white corner. He says to me, "I know that was an accident, but just please don't do it again." So I'm like, "Yep, sorry, whatever." So we get back to fighting, and the whole fight, I'm just trying to teep the shit out of this dude, keep him away from me. And when I couldn't land some punches, I'm landing some punches, and he's just trying to punch me as hard as he can with his right hand. Like, that's pretty much it. So we get into a clinch, and this fucking guy grabs the underneath my leg, which is like completely illegal. Like, he's going for a single leg takedown or whatever, and he runs me across the ring, and I'm throwing knees at him, and I knee him, and apparently, one of the knees landed on his dick again, and he goes down again, which later on he would say in his podcast that he was very tired at this point, which is funny because it was the first round, and that he needed to fake a dick kick to make sure that, one, he got a point, and two, that he could get a break. So I'm like, I knew that I didn't hit this dude in the dick because it was obviously like, it's a phantom dick kick. Like, I'll literally put it up on the screen right now. You fucking tell me that this looks like I hit him in the dick. It's complete bullshit. But whatever. So I'm like, oh my fucking god. Like, was this dude's cup constructed by 3-year-olds or like orphans or something, right? So he goes down again. He's milking it. And I go over to the corner again. And I remember looking at his girlfriend in the audience. I'm like, dude, she is really hot. I was thinking about that. Like, I was like, his girlfriend is really hot. I don't know how this dude has this hot of a girlfriend. Like, if this dude can get this hot of a girlfriend, I should be able to get a hot girlfriend too, okay? But yeah, so the end of the first round, after this whole dick kick thing, he claims to have, quote, knocked me down, which is interesting because basically what happened is I was landing on him, right? and I went to go throw a knee or a kick or something. I had my my leg up in the air, and I was leaning back. When you throw a kick or a knee, you don't lean forward, right? You lean backwards so you can pop your hips out more and get more power. So I'm doing that, and he hits me in the forehead with the right hand, which in the forehead, like I'm hitting myself in the, can you guys hear that? Can you guys hear that? It literally is wood. It sounds like wood because it's a hard part of your head. Like the forehead is very like resilient. The only part that's more resilient is probably the top of your skull. But yeah, the forehead's like not a knockout spot, right? So he hits me in the forehead, and I go down to the mat because I'm balanced on one leg on my tippy toes, trying to throw a knee, and I pop right back up. Like I'm not rocked. But he runs. He's like, yeah, puts his hands in the air, yeah, and he's like, he thinks that he knocked me down, right? So the ref gives me an 8 count, which I was like, fuck, dude, I did not get knocked down. Like, I was like, you know, it hurt because I was like, dude, I did not get knocked down. Like, this is fucking bullshit. Hashtag fake news. But it doesn't matter because the round ends, right? I go to my corner. The first thing I say to my coach, it's a super honest moment, is I say, this guy's a piece of shit. I'm literally an 18-year-old kid, and this guy's 28 years old, and he's treating me like shit. Which I get it, it's a fight, you know, you're not supposed to be kissing and making out the entire time. But it's like, at least have some fucking respect, is what I was thinking in the middle of the fight. Now I don't care, but that's what I was thinking at the moment. I'm being honest with you guys. So she tells me some shit to do. She's like, you need to kick him more, all that shit. And, the second round starts. So we go. I don't touch his glove at all. Not trying to, like, I think he tried to touch my glove after the dick kick. Yeah, the first dick kick, he tried to touch my glove after. I didn't do it because I don't know, man. Like, it wasn't even that I was trying to be an asshole. It was just that I thought, like, if I touch this dude's glove again, what if this time he just fucking punches me in the face? Like, no, I'm not going to do this. So the second round starts, right? And this is where my, quote, knockdowns happen. If we're calling everything that when someone falls down a knockdown, then these were knockdowns, right? Because that's what he's doing, that's what I'm doing. So, the first knockdown I had, right, is I was timing his right hand, and his right hand was easy to see coming. It was very powerful, but it was a big, wide, swinging right hand. So what I did is I pulled back, like, a little bit, and I think I threw a hook cross or a cross hook, and then I kicked him in the head as hard as I could as he was going down. And that gave him an 8 count. And I remember after that, I went over to the guy taking pictures, because there's a guy taking pictures outside the ring, and I looked at him and I smiled into the camera, like right into the camera. I smiled. And I need to look online if they actually took a picture of that. That would be kind of epic if they did. But yeah. And then the next time, right, I'm throwing fucking knees at him as hard as I can. Throwing knees as hard as I can to him in the clinch, on the ropes, and he just falls through. And I remember, dude, he can't lie and say I was pushing him, because I literally remember I threw a knee really hard at him. I heard him go, like he, like, you know, when you get hit in the body really hard, you exhale a little bit. That's how you know you hurt someone. So what I did is I pick him back up and I knee him again, and then he falls down. So I was really trying to hold this dude up so I can keep kneeing him, but he fell down.
Go, Nick! Hey! Hey! Yeah, boy! Let's go, baby! Let's go!
Right? And that's how the fight was going pretty much. He kicked me in the base leg one time and I fell down again because we were both throwing kicks, but he kicked under my kick and kicked my base leg, which caused me to fall. So that happened. But I think I was landing more of the punches. I was dominating the exchanges. He claims that I didn't hurt him at all. He claims the only time I hurt him was with a kick to the body, which I did throw a kick to his body as hard as I could. I remember I backed him up. I was and I just threw like this big, loud, like left kick to his body, and I threw 2 of them like really hard, just shin bone to chest as hard as I could. And that was pretty epic, okay? I'm not going to lie. But I think I hurt him more than that, because there was literally some times where I was just teeing off on this dude. And I don't know, if he wasn't hurt, I feel like he'd be like moving his head or blocking. But he had his arms out like he was a zombie, like trying to grab me, right? And I was just teeing off on him. Like I was going around his hands, just teeing off on him. His head was going up and down like his equilibrium was lost or something. But he claims that he was never hurt, which is interesting. But anyway, after that second round was probably the most eventful round. The third round, this is the only punch I felt in the entire fight. He hits me with a right hand, and I felt that punch, but it didn't knock me down or anything. I felt that one 1,000 times more than the punch that he claimed to have, quote, knocked me down with, because I was like, that wasn't like, whatever, dude, but he claims that he thinks he knocks me down. Whatever, dude. If we're calling everything a knockdown, I knocked you down too, buddy. After that, the fight ends, right? And I know I won the fight because I just hit him more. It just looks like I won the fight. Like, there's no way I didn't win the fight. He claims to think that he won the fight. He says, I quote, people with eyes would say that he won the fight. So, I guess if you think I won the fight, you are blind. I am blind. I am Lee Sin from League of Legends. By the way, I'm so sorry for this League of Legends gameplay. This is kind of a war crime. But, yeah, I guess you're blind if you think I won the fight. So, I am blind. My coach is #blind. Everyone in the crowd is #blind. It's epic. Awesome. His girlfriend is hot. That's all I can say. Anyway, he comes up to me after the fight, and he's like, dude, there's no bad blood. And he tries to hug me, and I'm like, dude, I didn't really want to embrace him. I'm being honest, but it's whatever. I was nice. I shook his hand, shook his corner's hand, got my hand raised, felt pretty good, and then later on, he claims to have won the fight. So whatever. He thinks he won the fight. I know I won the fight. It's whatever though. But yeah, guys, if you guys liked the video, please don't subscribe. This was a shitty video, honestly. Hope you guys don't like League of Legends, and I'll talk to you guys later. Peace out, Girl Scout.